We're not going to be able to play as loud as clarinet. We're not going to be able to play as soft as clarinet. That's just how it goes. It's always, the bassoon always seems like the softest instrument. It's kind of a drag.
The life of the bassoon.
Yes, it's kind of a drag, especially in jazz setting. You know, if you were going to have me play with, you know, in a big band, I'm just going to be like, I have a pickup that goes, I have a vocal that has a pickup that's drilled in there, and I plug into an amp because it's just annoying.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Electric bassoon. Wow.
Not my very favorite thing in the world, but very handy.
I've never heard it actually.
So, yeah.
Amazing.
But the thing that's really nice about bassoon that's harder on other instruments is that it does have these this leaping possibilities.
Yeah.
So you know, that is not hard. That's just easy. It's cool because other people will struggle through that in bassoons.
And you can see an example on the second handout.
Okay. Oh, you got handouts.
This is what she's talking about. The one that should say it has the number 41 on the top right hand corner, and you know we're showing like some of these larger leaps. Where it says there's no problem for the bassoon. It should be on the second one, but it's kind of interesting. It says though. And you tell us if the orchestration book is right, that there's a difference between slurring ascending and descending passages on the bassoon.
Interesting.
Yeah,
that seemed okay to me. I mean, you know, I'm choosing the notes that are comfortable for me, though.
Do you have this little handout that should say
I do, yeah.
On it? Not that one, but the other one. There you go.
No wonder I couldn't find it.
There you go. Yeah, please let us know. I mean, there's no, like I say again, no better way.
Here's one that the moderato, however descending. Yeah, that would scare somebody probably.
What would scare them?
However, if that was very exposed, just that slur, maybe they would crack the low D sharp. I don't know if your reed is flexible. I think you should be able to do it. That's just my opinion. But if you didn't want to have somebody be scared, maybe you would. The thing is also, I mean, depending on a situation, there's a lot of, you could make a something tongued so lightly that it sounds slurred. You know, so that's what I can do. I tongued that. Could you tell? You could. Damn.
Back to the therapy, right? Here's the therapy down the drain.
But it's still soft enough.
You didn't say anything, and not because I was listening for it.
I shouldn't have said it.
What about the third stave under number 7? It's the first one that has like two, covers the whole sort of width of the page. I think that's kind of where he's making his demonstration of slurring, going ascending and then descending.
Oh, the duddy.
Yeah. Could you play through that and let us know if it's tricky? Fine.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why. the orchestration book might be from a while back,
Way back,
where,
yes.
yeah, where they didn't have these keys.
Uh-huh.
So, so I'll show you what we do, especially in the two middle ranges where you use the holes mostly on the bassoon, which is like from A at the bottom of the bass staff to, aha.
Hey, how are you? Come on in.
Hi.
David, this is Sarah, this is Michael.
Hello.
Have a seat.
I was just talking about the, why it's not so awful to slur, I played this, line, it's a very good question. In the orchestration book, about like big slurs between notes either up or down and what's more challenging. And I will give the book that yes, some things are more challenging, but just asking about these octave leaps here, I'll show you. And the reason that was easy, I was just gonna, I'll do it this way. The reason that was easy was because there's this flick key, so, because these notes, the A to D in the two middle octaves of the bassoon are the same fingering. So if you didn't have the flicking, you would just lift in the whisper key.
So that's A, is that A on the bottom of the bass
That's
clef?
on the bottom of the bass clef,
Versus
yeah.
the bass and the bass clef.
Yeah, so I guess, yeah. And the flick key just helps vent one more key so that you, so that it'll speak clearly. You know, so it's like a lot of fun activity, which kind of slows the bassoon, you know, we got really, you know, it's one of those things you have to learn as a bassoonist, but it slows you down a little bit.
How important do you feel is it for composers to know fingering on the bassoon, or is it just better left to the performer?
I think
Just
it's like-
write what you want.
I think it's up to the performer to have to deal with something. Although there is one thing that I think can be challenging is trills that are more than, you know, when people want to write trills more than a step from, like, so, I don't know if it's in the...
Yes, it is, actually,
Oh,
perfect.
good.
Can you go on to, this is on page 3 of the same handout, it should say number 45. It has a whole list of, they call them shakes and tremolos.
Tremolos, that's the word.
Tremolos, and you can see, he's
Yes.
got a whole list of impossible
Oh,
on
yeah.
page 46 and 45. This, by the way, is from the Witter.
Okay, good, I was just gonna ask, I'm like, I should look at this book, this is interesting.
Well, if anyone wants, there's a bunch up here,
So, complete list of shakes, shakes and tremolos.
So, for example, maybe, is it still true? I mean, from, where it says, from double B flat to double F, no shakes are possible, say for the following two?
From double B flat to double F, no shakes are possible, so he's just talking about. I'm not sure I understand.
Yes, is there more possible now?
Yeah, I mean. Yeah,
Yeah, there's, okay.
they're all possible. I think they're all possible. It starts to get difficult when it's like let's say you want me to go, well, even A flat to B flat is okay. So like, let's say
So it's like,
G flat to B flat.
so it's the interval,
Yeah,
so it's
that
like
can be
the
challenging.
minor thirds, maybe the largest?
Well, you know what? No, because it just depends on the fingering. That's where you would maybe want to just talk to the bassoonist and say like, hey, would this work out for you? You know,
Right.
like let's say I really want you to play a tremolo between C sharp and F sharp. I might be like, well,
Tremolo, is it?
yeah, it's just, that would be challenging. It would sound really pretty probably, but it would be, although, you know, I feel like there's so many fingerings, I could probably wiggle something. I could just come up with a fingering that would make it sound like that, possibly. I don't know if everyone would be willing to do that. So, there's a book that I have that, if it wasn't so big, I would have brought it, but it's really only useful to bassoonists, but it's like this, what's it by, darn it? It's this big red book, it's like this thick, and it's all this alternate bassoon fingerings. So whenever I have a fingering that I'm confused about,
It's that big on alternate.
well, it's also like, it'll be like 3 fingerings or 2 fingerings a page, you know, so they could, it's just like, you know, it's like for somebody who's, you know, has a hard time seeing or something.
Right.
But it's so cool, I'm like, let me get out the red book, you know, and it'll be like, you want to trill from here to here, you want to trill from here to